vote for the negative team would ultimately mean, because we are unprotected against a massive threat. We're going to be looking at the threat, the problem, and the solution in this speech that refute Roman's 3 voting issues, and then bring up 3 voting issues which are strikingly similar to his of my own. Let's start off with voting issue number 1 of no threat. Now, their first subpoint was that Iran and North Korea aren't suicidal. I have 2 responses. First of all, they have left completely unrefuted the argument that the leadership could change, and could change into unrational hands. They've never refuted this argument. Iran's leadership, even if it is rational now, could easily change to being an irrational leadership. But my second response is that Iran's leadership now is irrational. The evidence that we read stated that Iranian leadership were fanatics and that deterrence was insufficient. Their second subpoint here was that current systems work, and their only remaining argument here is that the Missile Defense Director is credible. My response to this argument is, again, they've never refuted the specific argument that I presented, that he has an incentive to misrepresent the value of the system in an attempt to make it look better than it is. They claim that he's a very credible source, and he is. He knows more about missile defense than anybody in this room, unless one of you is a missile defense expert that I don't know about. However, that doesn't mean his public statements should be taken as fact. Missile defense systems that we have deployed right now do not work. Their second voting issue was that Russia would refuse. Now, their first subpoint, actually, they have 2 subpoints here, and I have 3 responses to both of these combined. My first response is that Russia sees a threat. Russia sees a threat. My partner read you evidence in his last speech that Russia views Iran as a threat to themselves. The negative team never refuted this evidence, so at this point in the round, they've left conceded the fact that Russia views Iran as a threat. That means that Russia has an incentive to cooperate. My second response is no threat to Russia. All of their evidence about how Russia doesn't trust us and doesn't want to cooperate right now was talking about the Romanian system or the European system, which Russia doesn't want to cooperate on and use of the U.S. betrayal because the system could threaten Russia. My partner read you evidence that our system can't threaten Russia because it's small and localized. This system is completely different and they can cooperate. My third and last response is incentive to cooperate. Russia would benefit by cooperating on the system. I'm going to be rereading a piece of evidence here that we read actually in the very first speech. George Lewis, PhD, stated in 2010 that, quote, although the U.S. could build this defense alone, both the U.S. and Russia would benefit by cooperating on it. Russia benefits by cooperating on this system. Let's move to their third and last voting issue, which was of an unreliable partner. Now, they had the argument about sanctions here and the argument about how Russia supports Iran's nuclear program. I have 2 responses. First of all, Iran is a threat to Russia. Iran is a threat to Russia. They've never refuted this. Russia has an incentive to cooperate on this system because it would protect them as well. My second response is that they have completely dropped, they have not refuted any of Evan's analysis or any of Evan's arguments about how the Russian-Iranian relationship has completely unraveled. Russia has cut off weapons sales, they've supported sanctions, international sanctions, not unilateral sanctions, and they've stopped being friends with Iran. They never refuted any of Evan's arguments. So at this point in the round, we have a reliable partner, an ineffective status quo, and a massive threat. Let's go to the 3 voting issues of the affirmative team and see what we can do about this. The voting issue number 1 is a threat of an attack. We see very clearly here that Iran and North Korea, 2 countries which will soon have capabilities to strike the United States, are prepared to do so. If we do not guard ourselves, we will be attacked. Voting issue number 2 is America unprotected. Congress has fallen asleep at the wheel. Our government has left us with a failed system, one that wouldn't protect us in an actual attack. This is unacceptable. The threat of nuclear attack is simply too large to be ignored, and that leads us to voting issue number 3, which is a proven solution. The drone, or unmanned aerial vehicle missile defense, is a proven solution. They didn't pull through any of their arguments in the last speech about how drones don't work. So at this point in the round, they've completely conceded that the system that we implement would be an effective system. So let's take a step back and see what you get with the negative team. You get a small chance that Russia might decline our offer to cooperate. There's always a chance that the other country won't cooperate, but it's a small chance. If you vote for the affirmative team, you have every reason to believe that Russia would cooperate with the United States on building a very effective and robust missile defense system, one that would protect American lives and serve American and Russian interests. We would ask you to vote for the affirmative team and implement a proven, effective, and intimidating system.